Hey, JK here. I want to thank you for sharing part of your day with me. This has been a crazy last few weeks for me, thus the reason why there's been 2 weeks since my last video. So we will be covering 2 weeks worth of fantasy baseball this week. So with a lot to go over, we're going to get right to it. The first team we're talking about is Peach Creek Purgatory. We were able to do pretty well in week 8. We did have a little bit of help from our opponent because he went over 2 starts, and one of those happened to be Reed Detmers with the 80 some odd point game he had. You know, those strikeouts, he had 14 strikeouts and didn't get the win. I thought was pretty funny. In any case, that didn't help him. It did help me. We ended up winning 1,063 to 870. Our top scorer in week 8 was Ketel Marte with 79, followed by Yamamoto with 61, and then Christian Walker with 59. Now, on the opposite side, we didn't have anyone get negative, so that was great, but we had some guys that did not actually live up to what their average said, so that was frustrating. That won't come back to bite us, will it? As we move to week 9, we're going to talk about how someone had to get the luckiest roll of their life for this week. Week 9 was a freaking nightmare for me. You might be wondering, JK, you didn't talk about week 8 adds or drops. Well, that's because I was going to put weeks 8 and 9 together because there were so many for week 9. So many. You might be wondering, why in the world did you drop so many people? Why did you add so many people? Why were there so many moves? Because I found myself in a heck of a rut. Because my guys did not want to play. They all fell short of their averages. Not just like, hey man, we're averaging 45, we're gonna hit 40. I mean, like, my guys were averaging 30 and got like 20 or fewer in 2 starts. Yeah, so someone was averaging 30 in 1 start and got a combined 20 in 2 starts. Yeah, so that's not good. So I did a lot of bulk pickups. So I was trying to find myself a cute way to get back into it. Nope. And my opponent, again, the luckiest week of his life, all of his guys went above their averages. Again, not like, hey, we're averaging 35, we're hitting 30 this week. I mean, like, they're averaging 50 over a week and they did 80. Tatis finally decided to go off and hit a home run. Like, it amazes me how whenever I'm playing someone, they just go off. Woosah, woosah. It's okay. It is okay. We ended up losing this week. It was the first loss. First loss since semifinals of last year, which that didn't make me feel any better to think about. But yeah, we lost. And God, at one point in time, we were losing by like 225, 235, something like that. Luckily, we didn't lose that bad. So check out the score. Not happy. The one person that did help me was Ronald Acuna. He had 85 points. The next closest was Yandy Diaz with 55. My highest scoring pitcher, I think 45, and that was Yamamoto on Sunday. We're going to have a list of the averages and what people did and how they messed up for me. So Max Muncy got me -1. I didn't start him when he hit the home runs. Brent Rooker, -2. Didn't start him when he hit the home run. Now, for the pitching. Steven Kolek. He was averaging, first of all, he had just come off a complete game, 45 points, which 45 points for a complete game, that is awful. Anyway, he got me 11. You were averaging, again, that was with the 45 point complete game, like 28. Okay. Miles Mikolas, that's a bulk reliever. Don't get on me. Don't be like, oh, why are you starting him? He was a bulk reliever, and in 3 of the last 4 games, he had averaged between 14 and 23, so at least 17, something like that. He got me 5. And here's the thing. He left with a pretty decent stat line. The reliever that came in, I think it was Lovelady, Dick Lovelady. His name's Richard something Lovelady. So anyway, yeah, he screwed that up, let those 2 runs in. Oh, Crow. I don't know what his first. Shane Crow. No, that's Shane Drone. Cam Crow. He got 3 points. His previous 2 starts, he got 19. Andrew Alvarez, bulk reliever. Got me -1. That's cute. Ooh, Luenda Avila, a bulk reliever. He was averaging between 5 to like 9 points in 7 of his last 9 games. He got me -1. Awesome. No, he got me -3. I read that wrong. -3. Aaron Savali, -8. He was averaging like 20. Ooh, Schlattens, the bulk reliever for the Rays. He got me -9. He had 11 plus points in all of his games this year and was averaging 16 points. And then Austin Voth, that was his first start as a bulk reliever. He was going against the Orioles, so I was like, okay, this should be pretty good. He got me -9. And then Drew Anderson, picked him up. I was like, okay, dude, the guys are coming back for the Tigers. They're not yet stretched out. He should do well. He got me -10. He had 20 plus points, up to like, I think 32. And he hadn't pitched any more than like 4 innings in 3 of his last 4. So what the fudge? And to top it all off, the guy I was playing, still undefeated. Naturally, if he's undefeated going against me, you know, then he beat me. So yeah, but it's not like his team was even that great, because this is what happened. James Wood went off. Tatis had himself a game, had himself a week. He had a few other guys. Mizorowski, he was averaging 30 to 40 a start. So he had 2 starts this past week. So 60 to 80 points. He had 104. That sucks. And my good guys didn't have 2 starts this week. Anyway, whatever. Not making excuses, just very frustrated. You can see all the ads wherever they're going to be able to fit on here. Tons and tons. A lot of them are bulk relievers. It's frustrating because this was my first loss of the season. This was first loss since, again, the semifinals. And before that, I really think I only lost 2 or 3 games last year. So this is like maybe my 3rd or 4th loss in the last 30 weeks. It's tough, man. Is this what it's like to have like a really good team? Is this what it's like to be Alabama? Like, I am disgusted with myself. Anyway, still 8-1. That's not terrible at all. I'm just really, really annoyed, especially at my guys, because I feel like I had such good starts or decent starts, but his guys just went like Tyler Phillips through 5 or 6 3-run innings last week against the Mets or something. See, I'm so tongue-tied. I'm so annoyed. I can't even think. Let's move on to the next team. And the next team we're talking about is the Kent Murphy Dingers. This is also going to be a frustrating segment of this, because week 8 was an issue of connectivity. I just said it funny. I don't know why. So my fiance, my kids, and I went to a minor league baseball game. Bluey was there. So if you are aware of any Bluey fans, we got to see Bluey. It was pretty cool. Both my boys were like, oh, Bluey, bingo. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Anyways, we're at the game. I knew it was going to be a long wait in line. So I was looking at my fantasy team, and I was seeing that I was doing well with my whip. And at this point in time, we were tied at 5. I was kind of worried about whip, but I said I was doing pretty good in it. So I had enough of a lead that Mackenzie Gore was starting on Sunday. I'm thinking, okay, like I could start him because I was only 4 strikeouts back. I was about to risk it for the biscuit, get Mackenzie Gore in, made the move, boom, it was done. There are a lot of people, okay, not a ton of people, but there are quite a few people at a ballpark to see Bluey, okay? So I thought for sure, I was like, yep, boom, made the move, saw Bluey, we're hanging out, sitting in our seats, and then when we get home, so it's like 9:30, whatever, I'm like, oh, like, let's see how Mackenzie Gore did. Well, Mackenzie Gore wasn't in my starting lineup. That's how he did. So it didn't matter. He had 7 strikeouts, by the way. I would have won. Otherwise, we tied at 5. Are you freaking kidding me? What a waste. What a waste of Christopher Sanchez greatness. I'm so mad. Anyway, another pitcher that did well for me was Brian Wu. He had 1 win and 12 strikeouts, and then Cade Smith had 4 saves for me. On the offensive side of the ball, Mr. Hunter Goodman had himself a week. Now, it's not because he did anything crazy, but it's because he had 2 stolen bases, which is what gave me the win in that category. And then my man, Nick Kurtz, got me 8 RBIs. What's up, man? On the other side, Zach Neto, Matt Olson, and Dalen Lyle all had slow weeks with averages at or below 200. Really? I also had bad starts by Kyle Montero and Mackenzie Gore. Yeah, I started Mackenzie Gore at the beginning of the week when he had, I think it was like the Rockies or something. Should have been a much easier win, but he went 1 inning, gave up 2 runs. What? Seriously, dude? And Kyle Montero, I think he had a pretty good matchup against, I think it was against the Indians. Who was he going against? Someone who he should have been able to beat, but of course he didn't. And then my relievers, Riley O'Brien and Lucas Ursich, both up and messed that up for me. Moving on to week 9, it was another tie. I'm so annoyed, but it was another tie. We were blown out offensively, but did just enough to win in runs, and we blew them out with the pitching, and of course we fell short in strikeout. My main offensive producer was Josh Jung. I know it's Josh Young, but we're going to call him Josh Jung. He had 2 home runs and 5 RBIs. And then I had a ton of wins from Rodon, Uribe, Mackenzie Gore, Christopher Sanchez, of course, my man, and Brian Wu. And then we had saves from, of course, Paul Sewald, and Cade Smith, because Cade Smith is putting in work this year. Good gosh, he's got like 20 plus saves already. Okay, maybe not 20, but he's like 17. Lord. Overall, my ERA was 2.01 and my whip was 1.03. Big thanks to Brian Wu and my man, Christopher Sanchez. And a bigger thanks to myself, J-Cake, for not starting Lucas Ursich because you blew up 3 times that week. You blew up 3 times last week, brother. Are you trying to give the job to like Alex Lang or Matt Stram or Schreiber? Like, are you trying to give it away? Carlos Estevez did you a favor and went out after like a third of an inning. And you are now, like, you have like 11 or 12 saves. What are you doing? We also have to talk about Riley O'Brien and Cade Smith all giving up runs, not as many as Ursich, but still gave up runs. We also had no hits, not a single hit from Bryce Terang last week, but he still produced. That's pretty good. You know who didn't produce? Alec Burleson. And you know who else didn't produce? Riley Green. Brother, you are hitting 300, but you are giving me goose eggs. The following guys had 190 or below averages. Dalen Lyle, Alec Burleson, Corbin Carroll, I think he has like 192, so it's like 192 and below. And then Hunter Goodman. Due to the highs and drops of these past 2 weeks, it was pretty short because I feel really good with my team. We did have to add a few guys. We did have to drop a few guys because we did have some IL spots come open. Thank you, Logan Webb, for coming back. Thank you. So we added Ryan River, or River Ryan, whatever his name is. Sounds like a hippie, plays for the Dodgers. Put him as the NA because we thought he was going to come up and play, and he's doing really well at AAA this year. So who knows what could happen there. Still sitting there for me. Noelvi Marte, mashing in AAA. Bro, you're hitting 300. And Brian Hayes already gone. Eugenio Suarez. I know I said that funny. Hey, Eugenio Suarez, if you don't pick it up a little bit, you might be, I won't say gone, but you'll be relegated to DH, even though you need to be able to hit DH. We also added Ian Seymour Butts, who is one of my favorite relievers. Kiter Montero, which that did not work out for me. I think he only had like 1 strikeout. Oh my gosh. And then Jared Jones, who I did not start when he started for the first time this past week. And it's a good thing because he had trash numbers. But I think I would have won the strikeouts, or at least would have tied them. I probably then would have lost my ERA and or my whip. So it balanced out, I guess. So on the other side, we dropped to Brandon Young because we wants him for the Orioles. I really thought I was going to be able to get some strikeouts with him, but nope. Ian Seymour Butts, which is unfortunate because I really like him. And then Kiter Montero. So overall, after 2 weeks of freaking ties, we're 7-1-2. We're still second overall, but still, man, who wants ties? So now we're going to move on to the Cucumbas. Week 8 It was a closer week than it should have been. I was going against the worst team in the league and won by the hair of my chinny chin chin, 6-4. Woo! One of the most frustrating stats for this week is the fact that I had a whip of 1.07. And I lost because my opponent had a 0.94 whip. Both of us were pitching out of our minds. But I pitched just a little better to get the better ERA. Dylan Dingler and Sal Stewart both had 2 home runs. Yandy Diaz and Ernie Clement both had 6 RBIs. And then Brian Wu had 1 win and 12 strikeouts for him. On the other side, Brandon Nimmo had no stats and no hits. No production. Now, also had subpar to really bad starts from Aaron Savale, my man, Ryan Nelson, who had a really good matchup with the Giants, and he just flubbed it up. And then Mackenzie Gore. Started him earlier in the week, and guess what? Guess what? He killed my whip. You know what it was? 5. His whip, after like 1 or 2 innings, was 5. Now, moving on to week 9. There's a little bit more separation. I was happy with it. We won 7-2, but we really got lucky with the whip this time. We won by 0.007. Yeah, it was super close, but we won. Most of my offensive production came from Yandy Diaz. He had 3 home runs. He also had 5 RBIs, along with Luis Arias. I thought you were just a hit machine. You actually got some runs in too? That's great. Thank you, sir. We also had some really good pitching performances. Ohtani, Bryce Young, Spencer Arrighetti, Spaghetti. Another reliever had another win for us. All of them had wins for us. And then Paul Sewald, Gregory Soto, and Cade Smith all had at least 2 saves for me. So again, thank you, relievers, especially Soto. Bro, you are not getting the love that you deserve. But Trevor Meagle took back over the closer role in the Milwaukee Brewer bullpen, and he got me 3 saves. I think one of the relievers were going to the negative side. They gave up some runs. That's not great. Definitely didn't help my whip. But then we also had some batters who forgot how to bat, forgot how to hit. They were like, hey, I don't know if I need to get the bat on the ball or just let the ball pass me. Yeah. Or maybe just swing on through. Yeah. Dylan Dingler, Taylor Ward, Dalen Lyle, and Brandon Nimmo all at or below 190 batting average. As we went to the ads drops, we added Ryan Nelson. We added Eric Sombrowski. We also added Brandon Nimmo and my boy Ian Seymour Butts. On the other side, to make room for him, we dropped Mackenzie Gore. We dropped Ryan Nelson. We dropped Aaron Savale, and we dropped Eric Sombrowski. That one hurt. Sombrowski was doing big things in that Indians bullpen. So overall, I am 60, 34, and 4. Tied for first place with the Cucumbas. Not great, because again, I'm still getting, just close wins. We just aren't cutting it. And if we don't have enough wins, we don't make the playoffs. So being undefeated is cool, but I need to get more separation. I need to make sure that 1 or 2 big wins from the guys below me don't put me into a spot where I'm fighting for my life. Yeah, I might be undefeated, but again, I don't have enough wins. I ain't playing the game for playoffs, right? Heading on over to South Harmon Institute Technology. Week 8 was great, baby. We were able to come out with a big win, 12-2-4. Should have been another win because the Phillies offense did not get a single run for my man, Christopher Sanchez, and his greatness. In any case, the big win was accompanied by 15 total bases and 2 home runs each from my man, CJ Abrams and Xavier Edwards. Abrams also had 7 RBIs. What's up, man? Also had 2 home runs from Freddie Freeman and 10 walks, so that was great. Christopher Sanchez did his thing. Cade Smith had 4 saves for me. And I had 0 losses and 0 blown saves. On the other side, Matt Olson had a slow week and only had 3 pitchers give up runs. Ian Seymour Butts, Rico Garcia, which that's crazy to think about, and Spencer Strider. Only 3 pitchers to give up runs. That was phenomenal. Moving on to week 9. My offense showed up, but nowhere near enough. Like, has I played, 6, 7 of the other teams, I would have won, but I was just going against what seemed to be a juggernaut. It wasn't really a juggernaut, but I didn't win. The only positive to bring from this loss, other than the players we're going to talk about, is the fact that we were able to scrounge up 5 categories to win. So it was 5-10-3. Definitely not where we wanted it to be, but again, we won 5. That's the most important part. The biggest offensive producers included Freddie Freeman, who had 15 total bases and 2 home runs, Casey Schmidt, who had 14 total bases and 2 stolen bases, and Matt Olson, who had 13 total bases and 2 home runs. We also had a phenomenal performance from my man, Christopher Sanchez, pitching side, and then we had Paul Sewald Brian Baker, and Cade Smith all get 3 saves and or holds for me. On the other side, Bryce Drain went 0 for 19. Didn't have a single hit, but he still produced because he got on base with walks, and I think he ended up, scoring a few runs for me, so that was good. And then Spencer Strider gave us our only loss for the week. It wasn't great, but it wasn't the worst thing in the world. He does have more strikeouts than innings pitched, and you always like to see that with pitchers. And in week 10, we are 83, 50, and 29. Second overall, 4 games in front of third place. Yes, I'm happy with where we are, but hate to see so many losses and freaking hate to see so many ties. I guess if we're going to have either losses or ties, I want ties, but I'd rather just have wins, right? Let's just get the wins. Now we're going to head on over to the Russell My Jim Jams team, which again, week 8 was great for me. This big double-digit victory came from the hard work of the guys I'm about to talk about. I have to read this off because I had so many people contribute in different areas. Yandy Diaz, Nolan Arenado, Dalen Lyle, Wilson Contreras, not William Contreras, and CJ Abrams all had 4+ extra base hits, all the way up to like 6 or 7, so that was great. Alec Bohm, Wilson Contreras, CJ Abrams, and Xavier Edwards, 2 home runs each. Wilson Contreras had 8 RBIs. Abrams had 7 RBIs. Yandy Diaz and Nolan Arenado had 6 RBIs. Cade Smith had 4 saves, and we had Mike Soroka, Kevin Gausman, Christopher Sanchez, and freaking Bryce Miller, my man, all had good outings. Then the relievers had to go and screw it up, giving up runs, blowing saves, getting losses, but they don't count so badly for this league, so it's not too bad. Also had some slow weeks from several bats, so again, we had a big win. This was the week if we were going to have some slow weeks to do it, but glad we were coming off the big one. But then as we move to week 9, all of that momentum just, calling it. We didn't lose by double digits, but when you see a double-digit victory in another person's column or in your loss column, that's super frustrating, man. That's the only thing to take away from this is the fact that we were playing the ¡1 team, so it is what it is. But again, his team wasn't like super stacked, or at least it didn't seem super stacked. In any case, Yandy Diaz, big week, 4 extra base hits, 3 home runs, so that's where most of those hits came from. But he only had 5, 6 RBIs, so let's get some more guys on base race. Hunter Goodman had 2 home runs, and Jesus Sanchez had 5 RBIs. And that is the extent of our offensive production and also the pitching. Everyone crapped the bed. So after 9 weeks, we are 69, nice, 52 and 23, 3rd overall, but again, not complacent. We need to get more wins, keep the ties down, keep the losses down. In any case, let's move on to the last team, the Cheese Weasels. 2 weeks ago, we were in 4th place with 90+ points. This week, we're in 5th place with 85 points. So that stinks, but long season ahead. What we're going to do is just read out these stats, the home runs, what we missed, the wins, the holds, the saves, the losses, the adds and drops, okay? So we had 2 home runs each from Mr. Christian Yelich, Liam Hicks, Casey Schmidt, Trey Turner, and Josh Jung. We had 1 home run from TJ Rumsfeld and 5 home runs from Mr. Yordan Alvarez. We missed a Taylor Ward home run, missed a Trey Turner home run, and missed 3 Zach Neto home runs, so that's not great. We had wins from Michael King, Connerly Early, 2 from Spencer Strider, Paul Sewald, Zach Wheeler, Mike Soroka, and Abner Uribe. We had 4 holds from Jason Adam and 1 from Abner Uribe. We had 1 save from Abner Uribe, 4 from Mr. Paul Sewald, and 2 from Mr. Devin Williams, which that's always an adventure. We had losses from Framber Valdez, 2 in fact, Casey Mize, 2 from Paul Skeens, 2 from Michael King, 1 from Devin Williams, surprise, 1 from Mr. Zach Wheeler, and 1 from Spencer Strider. So, unfortunate that we couldn't get all those wins from the pitchers, especially because some of them pitched really well, and others were just let down by the bullpen, so it's unfortunate. You can see the adds and drops. This league, again, is one that just year-round. We have to make sure that we are building up throughout the year. I don't want to spend all of my pitching early on. We also do want to mark 1 huge ad that we had. I don't know where it is. It's on the screen. we picked up Hunter Brown. I don't know who let that man go, but he is mine, and he is going to be great. I also, surprise, was able to pick up Logan Webb this week. So when released Francisco Lindor and Logan Webb. I don't know why. Wasn't able to get Mr. Francisco Lindor. That sucks. But I got Logan Webb. So my pitching is on point, baby. So that's going to do it for the recap for the teams. Let's talk about the people I think you should add. You heard me talk about one of them. You've seen him on some of the adds and drops. TJ Rumfeld, however you say his name, and Troy Johnston. Those two guys are doing big things, hitting between like 280 and 300 plus. I think Johnston's up to like 320 or something like that. Stealing bases, hitting home runs, getting RBIs. This is in the absence of Mickey Moniak. So once Mickey Moniak comes back, he's going to be adding to that. So I'm excited about all those guys. Tyler Freeman is doing good stuff there in Colorado as well. Speaking of doing good stuff, we have got to talk about JJ Bleday. Now with the Reds, finally finding his stride after some subpar seasons with the Marlins. Yikes. The Athletics. Ooh, yikes. He apparently figured it out. Okay, so JJ Bleday, I don't know if he's going to keep this up. He just got over 301, 302 last night with batting average and a home run. Ride the hot hand right there. Okay, Cincinnati is blistering hot. I am going to be looking forward to my shares of Eugenio Suarez, seeing how good he's going to be once it heats up and once he heats up, because he missed a chunk of time because of injury. So happy about that. Also, what was his name? McAdoo? Oh, Trevor McAdoo or something like that from the Blue Jays. They called him up. He's a utility guy. So he started at first mainly in the minor leagues, but he can play second, he can play third. That's a guy I'm looking at. Excited about what he can do. Again, in that Blue Jays offense, you have some people who are going to be able to move around. So, Ernie Clement, watch out, buddy. Maybe hit some home runs. Please do hit some home runs. I have a few shares of you. Moving on to pitching, these are a few guys I think you should look at. Consideration, not jump all in for them because they're not fully, back in the driver's seat. But Mastram, Daniel Lynch, Alex Lang, and what was the guy's name? John Schreiber or something like that. Used to be for the Red Sox. But those guys in that bullpen for the Royals, Lucas Ercich has been terrible these last few games, actually the past few weeks. So they have to make some sort of change there, right? Right? Also think you should be looking at Ian Seymour Butts. I know I've said his name before, but he is not owned enough, or not owned as much as he should be. Because he can get you wins, he can get you saves, he can get you holds, he can get you strikeouts, he can get you ERA and whip down. Other than that one bad blow up at the very beginning of the year, he's been lights out. Okay, maybe not like lights out, but he's been pretty good, okay? I also think that you should start looking at other individuals in the Astros bullpen. What do you mean? Hader is coming off IL. Why would I look at them? Because they're not closers. They are absolutely good at what they do, and that's setup. You have to look at Brian Abreu and Brian King. Both those guys work so much better in setup roles than the closer role. I think they're going to be good. They're going to pick you up holds. They're going to pick up a save or two here and there because Hader's going to, need to work back into it and could be a little rusty at times. But they're going to help with strikeouts. They're going to help with the ERA. Should help with whip. Maybe not Abreu doing so well. But you know what I'm saying? I think they're now going to start heating up once it is now getting warm. I'm going to be buying shares in that bullpen, even though I hate the trash throws. And that's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. You have the recaps for the last 2 weeks. You have my suggestions for who you should pick up player-wise and pitcher-wise. And now you have my ever most love and appreciation. This is JK Carroll. Thank you for sharing part of your day with me.